Hi, I'm Amy, and this is the Hudson Valley Knits Podcast. Welcome and thank you for joining me. I am Amy. I am also known as Memers on Ravelry and Memers66 on both Twitter and Instagram. I am on Instagram a lot, and I am on Ravelry a lot. I also have a Ravelry group, Hudson Valley Knits, and I hope you join me over there. I'm just getting started. There's not a lot of people yet, but I am offering some incentives, so stay tuned for that. Today I have a lot to go over. I have news, works in progress, some spinning finished objects to show you. I also have a ton of new stash and some tools to show you that I got at Stitches East yesterday, which I will be talking about in Knitting Talk. Nothing new to show you in my queue. Right now, I have not added anything, but I have some new patterns that will be going in that I will be talking to you about on Knitting Talk. So, again, stay tuned. So let me jump right into news. I wanted to start by saying thank you to Kim from Craft Stash Podcast. She gave me a shout out last week, and I can't tell you how flattered I was because she is has one of my favorite podcasts. Craft Stash Podcast is one of my favorites. She is just delightful. She does a great job. And when I decided I wanted to do a video podcast, she's one of the podcasters that I don't want to say study, but took my cues from on what would work and, what I liked to see myself in a podcast, which I'm going to try and give to you. So thank you very much, Kim. And if you don't watch Craft Stash Podcast, you should because it's really fun. And Kim's just a really sweet lady. You'll love it. And so that's that. I mentioned before that I have a new group, Hudson Valley Knits, and I would love it if you would all join me there. I think I have a little over 30 members, and there's an intro thread that some people have posted in, and there's also a thread to post pictures of your home that you love. Like I said, the name of my podcast and my website is Hudson Valley Knits, and I chose that because I grew up in the Hudson Valley in New York, Westchester County, New York, and I love it here. It's a beautiful place to live, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to live here. And honestly, I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. So if you have those feelings about your home, I would love to see pictures of your home. Or if not, then where would you love to live and why? And show me some pictures of that. I would love to see them. And also, I am going to be doing some giveaways in my group. I will be setting up threads in the group right after I finish recording this. And the first one will be a thread to show you, to explain that I am going to give away a free pattern for the first 100 members. So when I hit 100 members, if I hit 100 members, I will choose a number from the list of members, and I will give that person a free pattern worth $10 or less. So please, if you know somebody, spread the word, have them join the group, and when we hit 100 members, you all could win a free pattern. And the other giveaway, which should be a lot more fun, is a gift along, knit along. And this I'm really excited about. Let me kind of go over the rules here. I'm going to do a knit along that's kind of open-ended so that you can post almost anything. And it's the season for gifting, whether it's to celebrate a certain holiday, a birthday, or a gift just to give something to someone. You can be a part of this knit along. Any crafty modality, fibery modality will do. So you can gift homespun, crochet, knit. You can spin, anything as long as you're giving it to another person. even weaving. If you weave, you can post that. So join that knit along. I have a wonderful gift. I do have a prize. So I mentioned that I went to Stitches East, and I picked up a prize for this, with this knit along in mind. And the prize is by Dragonfly Fibers Traveler in the beautiful, beautiful colorway Starry Night. And I know that this is a really popular colorway. Let me unravel it. I actually am in love with it myself. As you can see, she takes the colors from the painting and she put it in here, and it is just stunning. So there's a little bit of green. I picked one that I saw a lot of gold and blue in because I kind of like that myself. But this will be the prize. I hope you join the knit along, and I will start a thread with all the rules of this knit along. Sorry for messing up this game. But again, the rules. So you must be a member of my group. You can cross-participate, and by that I mean if whatever your project is works for another knit-along with another prize, feel free to use that for both. I know for a fact that the in a Snit podcast is doing a gift-giving knit-along on their podcast, so I mean there's your opportunity to participate in both at the same time. So you must post, there's going to be a finished object thread where you must post a picture of the recipient of your gift, either wearing or holding the gift. That's another reason why I'm kind of giving up to January 8th, because if you celebrate Christmas and you're mailing a gift, this gives you some time to get a picture of that. The gift can already be started, because I understand that it's November 10th today. It might be the 11th by the time I get this video up, and that doesn't give a lot of people who celebrate Hanukkah time to finish a project. And plus, we'll be 2 weeks into it, and their holiday gift-giving season is already over. So to make it fair, it doesn't matter when you started your project, as long as you're not finished with it yet. You can post it in this knit along. So it can begin at any time in the past. So you could have started at any time in the past. As long as it's not completely finished, you can use it in this knit along, and it can include any kind of gift. And like I said, it will run into January on the 8th or thereabouts. The 8th is Elvis's birthday. But it just so happens the 7th is my mother's birthday, so this will give me a chance to get a gift out to my mom, too. So that is the knit-along, and like I said, this is a really cool gift. It's Traveler, which is a worsted weight yarn, and it's super soft merino. It's super wash merino, too. And there's a lot of great things you could make with this skein. So come join the group and join the knit-along. And I would love to see what you plan to make for your gift, and then get those finished object pictures in there. It'll be really fun. So that is my first knit-along / giveaway. And don't forget the pattern giveaway. Let's see, what else? Oh, so now I'm going into works in progress. I have a lot of great projects going. I'm really having fun with all of them. And so let me start with my woolly worm head hat. This is living in my little skein project bag. This was a limited edition project bag that you could, and I forget the name of the book she did it after. I'm sorry about that, but look at it. She designed the fabric herself. She took her inspiration from the book. It's just gorgeous, and inside is like sweaters. It's just it's based on a children's story, and it's just lovely. So this is the Woolly Wormhead 2013 Mystery Knit Along hat. I'm just like a couple of rows above the brim. not a ton of progress. You can see here the green is a beautiful color green, and it is Spirit Trail Fiberworks, and I don't know how to pronounce this, so forgive me. Orme, Aran weight, 80% merino, 20% cashmere. It is soft and luxurious and decadent, and I'm knitting them on my size 6. Well, now they're size 6. I did the brim in size 5, and I'm doing the hat portion in my size 6 signature needles. I love my signature needles. I hate that they didn't do an interchangeable set, and I hate that they charge $20 for a cable when it should really be more like 10 at the most. And just, charge me $30 for the tips and make the cables cheaper. But no, they're all about the money, so whatever, I still buy them because for me that's worth it because I love them so much. Okay, so that's the first project. And then, so we're only on clue 2, so hopefully by next podcast I'll have a lot more of the hat to show you. I really should have given you a kind of heads up there too, in case you're participating and didn't want to see, but you can't see anything of the pattern yet. Next time I show you, I will give you a little warning ahead of time in case you don't want to see it. So that's one project. And the next project I have is the Hellacious Socks by Emily from Fibertown. And this bag I got from the Yarny ad. It was in she had a citron kit that she sold, and it came with the bag. It's a nice little bag. I like it. I worked a lot on the citron socks. Again, Herbaceous Socks by Emily. It's a nice pattern, easy to memorize. I do still follow the chart, which is fine, but I just need to kind of look at it, and then I can just zip through the row. And this yarn is beautiful and luxurious. The yarn is called Virgin. Let me check my notes. Hold on. Herbaceous. I didn't write down the color. Hold on. Did I have I have it in here. Virgin Who Can't Drive. Whatever. It's a beautiful bluish. I don't know if I would call it periwinkle or lavender, but it's beautiful color. I was going to give these to my friend Mary Jean, but she can't. Her ankles are too big for them. I'm going to have to knit something else for Mary Jean. Another gift. She's got a December birthday. Wish me luck. But these are part of the Dynamic Duo Knit Along that's on Craft Stash podcast. So go check it out. The rules of that podcast are a podcaster pattern with a podcaster dyed yarn. And so Fibertown podcast for the pattern and Mustache, What You Swatching podcast for the yarn. Yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm digging it. I'll be like banging these out before you know it. So that is that project. And next, Maiden Hair Shawl. I'll give you a sneak peek, but really haven't worked on it much. This project is one that I really can't work on a lot because, and where did I put it? Well, maybe I won't be showing you because it's over on my bed. But I just, it's one of the projects that I can't work on unless I'm sitting at my desk because it's charted, it's getting big, and it's not toteable. Lastly, but not leastly, if that's a word, is the Against the Current shawl by Moi. It's a not published yet pattern, but I am working on it, and I'll put it out there again that I would love to have at least, I would like 2 more test knitters. I would like 1 more for the dry run, and then another person if changes have to be made to make it 1 more time. But the Against the Current shawl is a shawl I designed as to make a gift for my sister, and for a number of reasons. It's based on a card from a tarot deck, the Gaian Tarot by Joanne Powell Colbert, and the card inspired me to design something watery and also kind of like showing fish swimming against the current. And basically, I made it for my sister as a birthday present, and I'm finally getting around to writing up the pattern. And this is Madeline Tosh sock in worn denim. It's a beautiful color, perfect for a watery shawl. And it will hopefully be published within the next couple of weeks if I can get some test knitters, or probably more like a month. But it's hard for you to see the pattern right now, but you can go to my project page and see the one that I knit for my sister, and it looks like fish. It's just, you have to go see it. But this is what I've been mostly working on, and I'm almost done. And the problem might be yardage. I'm in the last chart, and I don't know if I'll have enough to finish the last repeat of this chart, which means I might have to take a repeat of the main body out, which would make it a much smaller shawl if you're to finish it with one skein of sock yarn. But the nice thing about this pattern is if you do have more, or you have a larger, a skein with a larger yardage, you can just add repeats of the main body, and it will work fine with the rest of the charts and make it as big as you want. So I have 2 skeins, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to make another bigger one, but so that is Against the Current shawl, and this is living in my beautiful Amy Beth Fat Squirrel, which is a Cartel Shop large project bag. I really, 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 really want to get one of her big project bags for knitting, for sweater bags. I don't know if I need a regular sweater project bag or I think she calls the larger one like an Aran sweater project bag, which is humongous. I'll probably just go with a regular sweater bag, because if it's humongous, I would put it in, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be toting it around. So that's my work in progress. I don't have any spinning work in progress because I just finished what I was working on my wheel. I usually only have one spinning project at a time going. So let's take it now to my spinning finish objects. So once I was done with the Rhinebeck sweater, I was really jonesing to do some spinning, and I did. I did a lot of great stuff. The first thing I want to show you is, and I want you to keep in mind that this was like one of the first things I ever spun up on my Hansen, and it was meant to be practice. It's mixed BFL, so it's very marbly. It had some light and dark fibers in it. I think I got it off the Web's website. It is beautiful and squishy and soft. I did it with short forward draw. And basically what I was trying to do, and you can tell that I couldn't quite do it, but it wasn't too bad. So there's some thin, there's some thick. I just was trying to get to the point where I could be somewhat consistent. I didn't always succeed, but it was a great practice, and despite the unevenness of the thickness, I am going to knit this up into something. It really is lovely and soft and squishy, and I love it because it's like it's like my second fully made skein of yarn. It was sitting on the bobbin for a very long time, and I'm just going to snuggle. And I just took it off, and I actually gave it a bath last week. And I can't wait to knit with this stuff. So that is the first one. The second one I'm going to show you is this beautiful multicolored one. And this was, I bought this fiber specifically to practice different sheep fibers, because This was a sampler. Let me show you. This was a sampler. It's called the 6 Sheep Sampler from Fragile Fibers. I don't speak French, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. And it's a sampler. It was a sampler of 6 different fibers from 6 different types of sheep. And if you look on the back, they list it. The chestnut brown was BFL. The reddish purple is Finn. The purple was Falkland. The midnight blue is Corriedale. The spruce was Palworth, and the spruce green was Merino. And what I did is I split it, and I split it so each color was separate. And I split each color in half, and then in the same order I spun one half of each, hoping that I would be able to apply it and get like with like, and it didn't work. Which, is fine, because basically it didn't work because I am still not a consistent spinner rather, and this needs to be soaked, by the way. But it still turned out beautiful, and I absolutely love it, and it was a great practice. This I made after the last one I showed you, and I don't know if you could really see, but it's a lot more consistent, despite the fact that I was going from different fibers. I'm trying to wait for the light to adjust, but sorry about the light. It just really came out a lot better. Still a lot of room for improvement, but I think I'm doing not so bad. And I love how some of the sections, like here, you can see a lot of marbling. But it really came out nice, and I love it. And not sure what I'm going to make with it. This might end up being something for my mom, because like I said, her birthday's in January, and I'm really looking forward to knitting something with my homespun. And I would definitely use thicker needles. It's a thicker yarn, so it would knit up quick. I don't know. We'll see. So that is that. I really loved doing this. This was fun. And it was the first thing I did after my bed. So lastly, this is, let me get the label. This here is what I just finished. It's extremely bulky, and the spinning job was really bad. It has not been soaked yet. Keep that in mind. But you can see, like, especially here, like right there, that was really bad. It's like was not even spun at all. What I was doing was, this is and it's not the fiber, it's me. I was trying to do this long draw. I did do it long draw, despite numerous times wanting to switch over because it was coming out terrible. I stuck with it because I'm never going to learn it if I don't practice it. This is, by the way, the North Cabin Fiber Crafts Shetland Pass in the color Storm Clouds. And it's part of a spin along, knit along, crochet along that Tina from Knitting Blooms is doing. So if you're interested in that, the only rule is that you be making something with their products, North Cabin Fiber Arts. And here's her website, northcabinfibercraft.etsy.com. And I don't know if it's still valid. You'd have to go to Tina's group and check it out there. But there was a coupon code that might still be valid. I think it's 10% off. I used it. And I'll be posting this soon on Tina's spin along thread, finished object thread. But yeah, it's Shetland wool, and I was trying to learn long draw, and it came out awful. But I am sure, despite my inconsistencies, that it will look beautiful when I knit it up. I'm gonna probably make a hat for my husband with this. It started out with 8 ounces. A lot of it I threw away as hopeless. And then there was a lot left over on one of the spindles. Not spindles, bobbins. And I threw that away. I don't know how to make use of that yet. I'll have to find out. But yeah, this is, after I finish recording this, I'm going to be giving this and the other multicolored one a hot bath, and then hang them up to dry. Last week I was hanging stuff outside because it was sunny and warm, and this week the day started as sunny, but it is now cold out, and it's windy, and it even rained a little bit, so there's no way I'll be putting this outside to hang on the line. But I'm not disappointed, but it's definitely not what I was hoping to achieve. But I will learn long draw because I like wool and spun yarns because they're squishier and they keep you warmer. Not that I wouldn't like worsted spun. That's great for like socks and stuff, but I definitely need to master it. There are a few spots here and there. I was looking for a bulky. There are a few spots that are okay, but it wasn't consistent. Like, there were times that I did kind of get into a groove, and I kind of like, okay, I got it, and I kind of got into a rhythm, but I kept losing it, and once I lost it, it was like sucking in my wool, and I wasn't having the chance to draw it out, and I was just getting really frustrated. And I don't know if it's because it's Shetland, but I had a hard time like even pre-drafting it, which did help a little bit when I pre-drafted it, but it was very sticky and hard to draw out, and I don't know if I used the best yarn or not, but here it is. I love it. I'm happy. And that's kind of it for my finished objects. Acquisitions. I told you that a couple of friends of mine, we were at knitting night. Thursday is our knitting group night, and a bunch of us said, why don't we just take a road trip and go to Stitches? And it was kind of like it was kind of like back and forth, hemming and hawing, because we did buy so much at Rhinebeck. And it's not like any of us needed any more stash, but it was more for the idea of a road trip with friends and hanging out and just sharing a good day together. And we did have a great time. And I went there thinking I might get a skein or two, and I thought maybe I'd find something nice to give away, which I did, the Starry Night Traveler, which is really, Dragonfly Fibers has some awesome colors, and it was so nice to see them in person, and I can tell you right now, I wanted to buy tons of her colors, but I don't have the room, I don't have the need. I'm kind of disenchanted right now with yarn buying. I just don't really feel the need for it, and actually I'll go to my first acquisition, which was not at Stitches East, and it's from the Plucky Classics Club. This is Plucky Classics. The club colorway for October was Completely Bonkers, and the inspiration Alice in Wonderland, and it is a corally. I just see. So what comes to mind is it's definitely a red, an orangey red, maybe even. It's not so much corally because I don't see a lot of pink in it. It's definitely an orange kind of red, showing up a little brighter than it actually is. And actually the Plucky Feet is a little more, this is the Plucky Feet, it's a little more matted or duller than, not as bright as the Primo Sport. And by the way, I canceled the Primo Sport because I just don't I love being in the Plucky Classics Club. I love getting her colors. I think I'm gonna, and I love Plucky Feet the best. It's a great yarn to knit socks or shawls with, and I really love it. But yeah, I don't need any more, so I was a little kind of like hesitant to buy. Oh, look, it has a little thread of nylon sticking out. I don't know if you can see that. See that? I thought it might be some vegetable matter, but it's not. It's actually nylon plastic, I think. That's weird. Anyway, I've never seen that before in her fibers, just so you know. And I bet if I said something, she'd immediately do something about it, because I've heard nothing but good things about their customer service, but it really doesn't bother me, so I'm not going to do anything about it. I'll just snip it off. But anyway, these two, I love the color, but I think, and like I already canceled the Primo Sport, but I think I might cancel the Plucky Feet as well. She was at Vogue Knitting Live last year, and I figure I can go there and just pick the colors I want myself in person, and that will be my shopping and for Vogue Knitting Live. And better than, like, what if I didn't like it? Then I'm paying this money. But I don't know. It's not like it's killing the bank, but at the same time, it's like I just don't need it. And if I'm going to buy it, I might as well pick colors that I really like and aren't going to use. But this makes me actually, kind of forces me to buy things that I might not normally knit with. So I'm torn. I haven't decided yet, but I have a little time because it's every other month. And even if I get hit with the next month, no big hardship there. But I might quit this. So that's the Plucky Knitter Classics Club. Love it. Love her yarn. Love this color. She's great. She's great. It's a great investment. So I also, a while back, when I first started spinning, I ordered the Blue Moon Fiber Arts Club colorway for October. And I didn't buy any more because I wasn't sure about my spinning skills. This is hand painted. And it's 100% BFL is this, and then this is 50-50 merino and silk. And you can't feel it, but I'm sure you can imagine how soft this is. And they're both, trying to get this, you can't see the colors very well here. It is a little darker than the merino silk, but it really is beautiful. And I do love spinning up BFL, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm a little nervous, though, because it's so luxuriously beautiful. It's, doesn't say how many ounces of each. Let me see what the total ounces are. It doesn't say. But I was really excited about this. I've always loved Blue Moon Fiber Arts colorways. They do the Socks that Rock, which I love their colorways. And I saw that the club was available for October and I think December, but I only bought one because I was trying to calm down. I think I ordered it before Rhinebeck, and I knew I would be buying a lot of stuff at Rhinebeck, so I just ordered one, and I love it. And I remember hearing, I think on the Dragonfly Soars podcast, she talked about how she puts up these diary notes. And she talks about the inspiration, hand-picking the fibers, hand-picking the colors, what inspired her, and then the swatches. So what's nice is you get to see what it looks like spun up and knit up, and it's really gorgeous. What she did, she described in her notes that she spun up the BFL and then spun up the silk and merino and tried to kind of match it. It was slightly off, kind of like I was saying mine was. Hers was much better, I'm sure, because she's probably a much more consistent spinner. And then she applied the two fibers together, and that's what kind of gives it like this shiny kind of look and feel to it. If you could see, I don't know if you can tell. Come on. It's kind of got this shininess to it and these little pops of color, and that's the silk that she applied it with. So it's really gorgeous. I think I might not do this right away. I want to get a little more experience spinning and plying before I do this. And I'm going to keep my eye out for some spinning classes because I think I really need to take some spinning classes and get better with the long draw and with different methods of plying. You know what? Do I have that little thing up here? I don't think I do. Oh, yes, I do. So I did have some extra stuff on one of my bobbins when I was plying up this multicolor one. And rather than waste it, I tried, I made a very lame attempt at the chain plying. And I have seen little example videos from Knitting Blooms. Tina from Knitting Blooms did a little demo. And Diana from Knittables did a little demo. And this is my attempt at it. I don't know if you could see it. It's probably hard to see it because but it didn't come out too good in some spots, but it came out okay in others. And I really don't even know if I was doing it right. And some spots was purely disastrous, but I just wanted to give it a whirl. It was really kind of the mind, I have this on the bobbin, I might as well try. But that's another thing I would like to learn and perfect is the chain plying. So that was just a little practice. Not bad, I guess. Just feeling it out. What else do we have? Okay, so now I am up to my purchases from the Stitches East. And I'm thrilled with every single thing I got, starting with this shawl pin, which is just beautiful. And I got another shawl pin from the same vendor. Ebony Stick, and it's shawlpin.com. So this one is Mother of Pearl. Isn't it gorgeous? Just beautiful. And this one is Cherrywood, and it's beautiful. I just love them both. I've been wanting to get a shawl pin. They had some nice, beautiful metal ones too. But I picked something that I thought would be kind of neutral, and then something a little more elaborate. $25 each, not bad if you ask me. So that was like one of my first purchases, except for I did buy myself some Starry Night. Let me show you that. So in the same colorway, this is the Starry Night. It's the extra super traveler's skein. So it's super wash and it's a bulky. And then I got this from their sale bin because it actually has some specks of other colors had gotten onto it, so there were some spots on it. But I don't care. They actually match what's in the Starry Night. And so I picked this up for a bargain of $16, and I think this was like, it was 20-something. I forget. But not bad, and I'm going to make a hat for someone. I don't know, or maybe me. I don't know. I don't think I'll look good in this green. But anyways, love this. Super wash, so whoever I give it to can easily wash it. So that was my first stop, was the Dragonfly booth. I also went to the, what's the other vendor? Cephalopod Yarns was there. And I get them confused, so don't quote me on this. Whichever one was at Stitches. But and her colors were gorgeous too. I just didn't see anything that grabbed me. And it was a little expensive. You know, I'm aware that that a lot of the dyers use the same bases. So I assume they're paying the same for it. And I could be misjudging, but I thought hers were a lot more expensive than they needed to be. So anyway, that's these. Then I got, hold on. Starry Night, Celery Lotus Yarns Mimi. So this was 2 skeins of mink. Now this top one is less bright red and more of a maroon. And this is like a grayish white, like a snowy, wintry storm. And the woman in the booth was holding each yarn double and just knitting a striped cowl. And I can't tell you how beautiful it was to touch, to look at, and I was in love with it. And this is going to be a gift for someone special. Maybe as a gift to myself. I don't know. But $23 a skein, I couldn't pass it up. And so that was my unplanned purchase. And then I got these really fabulous but unusual skeins. And you may have seen them. I know they were at Vogue Knitting Live. These are made up of sari scraps, so for Indian saris. And here's the company. Oops, upside down. Leilani Arts. And hold on, my son is going to come up and interrupt me. Sorry about that little interruption. My son, he's 27, but he came up for the weekend. He doesn't really live here. He just came up. His friends up here, and he likes getting out of the city. He lives in Harlem right now. But he, and I told him I was recording. He came up to tell me his dilemma was, Ma, I just went out and bought all this Chinese food, but Ty is here and he wants to go to Bob's Barbecue. What should I do? That's the dilemma. I'm like, Joey, I was recording. Oh, sorry, you should have let it ride out. It would have been cool. Well, maybe not. Oh, I hear the door again. If he comes up here again, I'm going to kill him. All right, so I was talking about the Sari silk skeins. They are by Leilani Arts, silk sari, and I call it yarn. They don't really call it anything. LeilaniArts.net, LeilaniArts@gmail.com, and there's even a phone number, 808-298-3208. I've seen them at Vogue, and I've seen them now at Stitches. And I saw some things knit up. Now, you may remember, if you hear the hot rod, that's his friend Ty picking him up. You may remember at one time I might have told you that I am also kind of like a tarot reader on the side, and I have probably not as many tarot decks as I have skeins of yarn, but I have quite a collection of tarot decks, and I don't knit cases for my decks because the oils in the wool, I'm afraid of them affecting the cards in the deck, and some of these decks are collectibles, kind of like you having a skein of cashmere that cost you like $80. You wouldn't like just throw it in any bag, right? So I'm going to use these, and I'm going to knit up bags for some of my favorite tarot decks that I use a lot. One of them being the Gaian Tarot, because it'll be perfect. They're silk. That's what you're supposed to wrap your decks in. Not that I believe that that's necessary, because they're just cards, but a lot of people take that very seriously. And I just saw this and said bingo. And they had one knit up in like a little pouch. And it actually it was crocheted. But either crochet or knit, this is what I'm doing with these. And I'm like thrilled with it. So look forward to seeing how these come out. And these actually might be a gift as well, because I have some beautiful tarot friends. And they're actually knitters too. But they made me some beautiful bags for my decks, and maybe I'll be returning the favor this year, finally. So, Morena and Ellen Mary, be on the lookout. You might be getting a bag, just like you did for me. So, all right, no tarot talk, sorry. Got a little off track. Oh, okay, so now that's it with the yarny kind of fiberish purchases. But I did get a lot of stuff. So I showed you the shawl pins I got. I found this one vendor. She was such a wonderful lady. She was delightful. And I don't know the name of her business because I didn't grab a card. But she was selling two things. She was selling these glass files. I bought a little nail file from her, and I bought this foot file, spa bar foot file, and it's used for smoothing away your rough skin. It's double-sided. One side was rougher than the other, It was $30. She gave us a deal of $27 because me and my friends, all three of us bought one, so she said she would give us the family discount. And it's really kind of for my husband because he loves having nice feet, and he actually does go for pedicures every once in a while. But he's on his feet a lot. He's a chef. He works in a kitchen with a hard floor. They do have rubber mats, but he likes to pamper his feet as well he should. So I got that for him mostly. I have the file, but I also bought this Lolo bar sampler. And in this, it has the foot. Let me open it up. So she put them together in these little bags. I have the Lolo O for Feet's Sake in peppermint, and it smells really, really nice. It's very greasy on your feet, but they recommend doing it when your feet are wet. I just did it really quick last night when we got home, so I can't really kind of comment on the effectiveness, but I can tell you by the ingredients, this will work very well. It has a lot of ingredients that I know for a fact work very well on your skin, including beeswax to help it hold its form, which is fine. Coconut oil is one of the best things you can put on your skin. As a matter of fact, I often use the Wolf Farm coconut oil, from Wolf Farms, which is the best thing for your feet. I use it all over, but the thing with that is you have to run it under hot water and melt it a bit just to get it out of the bottle. This is ready to go. And all of their products had basically the same oils in them. Some had beeswax and some didn't. And that's the only difference I could find, really, between their products. So I got the Lolo Cuticle Intensive, which, like I said, it's almost the same exact ingredients as in their Lolo bars, so I don't know that I really needed it, but I'll use it up. Lolo Lips, it has all those wonderful ingredients. It's in lemon pie, which was actually very nice. But it has beeswax as well to, like I said, probably hold its form. And 2 of these mini bamboo elements. That's the one I picked because I loved all the scents, but this one the most. And there's 2 of them, and they have these little like cakes in them. And I took it out, which is hard to do. So it's hard to use. That's my only complaint. Like, this is nice because I can fit it in my bag, and I don't have to run it under hot water like the coconut oil. But you have to get it out. You kind of have to, like, otherwise, and then I rubbed it on my hands and stuff. I don't want to do it now. Oh, and it smells so good. But otherwise, you just have to kind of rub and then put a little, and by the time you get out enough for your hands, it takes forever. So my only complaint is, even though the tins are cute, you gotta think of a way to make it easier to get it out of the tin. So that's my evaluation of the Lolo products. As of now, I would say they're great. And she gave me this whole kit for, I think it was $40. I don't know. I have no idea how much stuff retails for individually. That's what she sold it to me for. And I'm pleased as punch. I think I'm going to like it. I might be buying more. So that was one of the things. I did get some unconventional things. And I did, including some tools, which are, oh, where did I put them? Oh, I got the square needles. I tried these. They had like a little table you could sit down and try their needles in. And they're collage needles. I got the DPN set in the 2.25 millimeters, which is the smaller size one. And because I'm not a big DPN knitter. I'm not. I always knit my socks in Magic Loop. But these, I knit their little sample thing with the DPNs, and I just love the feeling. So I might cast on another pair of socks with these just to knit with them. Maybe I'll knit the next one in my queue, which I think is the Abundant Yarn or something like that. Let me open up my queue. Hold on. Sorry, bear with me. Um, in my queue, the next pair of socks is Annabelle's Extra Yarn by Laura Linneman. That's the pattern that goes with the project bag. The only thing I didn't buy was the yarn because, as I said, I already own too much yarn. So maybe I'll knit these, cast these on with that. It depends upon the gauge I get. Also got a size 5 circular 32-inch with their completely flexible cables, which are completely flexible, and they remind me of signature cables. The join is beautiful. There is no catch whatsoever. I love the join. I loved holding them. I tried a bunch of different sizes. All the sizes felt good, from the tiniest to the littlest. He said, as far as gauge is concerned, his, and I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he's one of the ones that started the business. He said you might need to go up a needle size, but basically his answer to me was, when I asked him about gauge and how the square needles affect gauge, was always do a swatch, because they're square and you don't have that space that a round needle will occupy. They do tend to knit a little tighter than a round needle. So he said, but you should always check your gauge. Also note that they are pointy needles. So if you don't like pointy needles, these are not the needles for you. They also have a firmer cord if you don't like these totally firmless cords. They have them in a firmer cord, which is a nice little option. And he said that sometime in Q2 next year, they're hoping to come out with an interchangeable set, which is why I only bought 2 needles, because I might be buying yet another interchangeable set. So again, these are collage square needles. A++ in my book. I love them. And hopefully be casting on some projects with these soon. And then the creme de la creme. I did a splurge. Like, my kitchen fund is getting smaller and smaller every day. And this put a big dent in it. I got the Strouch ball winder. Sorry. I tested it. This ball winder is sturdy. It will last forever. He says they back it up for life. They've never had any issues, but if anything goes wrong, you just let us know and we will take care of it right away and give you a new one if necessary. So they were very good that way. And what I like about it is my huge honking skeins, like this one, I can wind up on this. Whereas my little plastic one, it wouldn't have fit. It wouldn't have fit on the ball winder, and the ball winder kept popping out and flying across the room, and I was really getting sick of it. $180 with the tax. A bit much than I think something like this should cost, but the hardware is sturdy. It's sturdily built. It's substantial. It's not going to break apart. It's really made of durable materials, and so it might be like my most expensive purchase, but it's the one I least regret. So I deserve it. I mean, it will go to good use, so it's not a frivolous purchase, not by any means. Boy, this is getting to be a long one. I didn't want it to be this long, but I can't let you go without the knitty talk, because there's so much I wanted to talk to you about with going to Stitches East. I don't even know where to start. We had a great time. There were plenty of vendors, and everyone was wonderful. There were beautiful yarns there. I have to shout out to String Theory Yarns. I had heard of String Theory Yarns, but I had never really ever knitted with them before, but seeing their yarns they are underrated. I couldn't buy any, but the next sweater I make, I'm going to their website and picking out the yarn there because their yarns are gorgeous. Their colors are beautiful. I was totally gobsmacked. String Theory, I love you. I can't wait to try you. So that was the first thing. But when we got there, and I have to start this by saying I've only been to Stitches once before, and it was on a Saturday. I think it was like 3 years ago. I'm not quite certain about that. It might have been longer, probably maybe 4 years ago. I don't remember the year. But I know that when we walked in there at 10 o'clock, and I was expecting to see lines up the yin yang, there were no lines to get in. When I went last time, we got there before they opened, and there were lines down the escalator to get in. And we had prepaid our tickets. There were lines just to wait to give your ticket to get in and get stamped. When we walked in, it wasn't a ghost town. There were people there, but there were not nearly the amount of people that were there when I went the last time. Significantly less. And I don't know if it's because of classes or... I have no idea. I know there were less vendors, but I don't know. There were still plenty of vendors. It's not like there were... there were definitely a lot less vendors, but there were still plenty of vendors. There were a lot of vendors there. There were not a lot of people. There were no lines. I was able to get into the Sanguine Griffin thing with no problem. I was able to get into the Dragonfly Fibers, no problem. There was not a long line at Webb's. It was eerie. It was weird. I couldn't believe it. So I don't know what's happening there. I hope... my concern is that these vendors put out a lot of money to go there and hopefully make some money. And this is money that they're probably counting on to last them a while because these big shows, they don't come very often. And I hope they're making some money. That's all I got to say. I know I put some money in the pot. I definitely put plenty of money out there. Oh, and I also bought one of these back things for my husband. It's like one of those attend machines that you ever go to a chiropractor and he puts these things that zap your muscles and they help relax your muscles. I got one of those for my husband's because he's been having a lot of back problems lately, and we put that on him last night because I tested it out and I thought it was great. So that's another purchase, which was actually kind of expensive. So there's so much I could talk about, but the biggest thing for me that I wanted to do besides, check out a couple of select vendors was check out the Fiber Factor samples. I haven't talked about it, but I have been following the Fiber Factor Design Challenge, and these designers have totally amazed me. There's been some that I think are better than others, but generally speaking, they are all amazing designers, and the stuff they put out, under the pressures they put it out, and having to go outside their comfort zone, I was like completely impressed by every single one of them. There were some that I felt could have done a lot better and didn't. There was one in particular that I felt didn't put in much effort, and it was a little disappointing, but even so, generally speaking, this was a great thing, and I am so happy I can never say it, and I apologize. Skasel did this because it really was definitely very inspirational. But I tried a lot on, and I'll put some pictures at the end. These designs are even more impressive in person, and I wanted to give my shout-outs. There's been a lot of talk. I'm not going to go into a lot of details. I'm going to say that overall, my favorite designers were Terry and John for the most innovatively classy, beautiful, amazing designs. Um, the, both of them had stuff that I didn't quite like, but most of the stuff they put out, I just blew me away. I can't even imagine coming up with something as beautiful as they did. So my kudos to the two of you, especially to all of you, but especially John and Terry spoke to me. However, my most favorited designs came from two other designers who, for the most part, put out stuff that weren't me at all, except for with the exception. Tracy, and her last name is Perchers. In the Challenge 3, which was open slate, she put out this design she's calling Bravura, and the pattern is for sale. And if you haven't seen it, you go check it out. It is amazing, and I saw it in person, and I didn't take a picture of me wearing it, and I should have had my friend take a picture. This design is gorgeous, and it's got a hood, and it kind of looks like a cape in the back, but it's not. It's like a sweater. It's just gorgeous. You know what? I should probably, if you don't mind, I'm going to show you a picture. So Bravura, it's for sale, and I'm going to buy it. But the other designer is Lauren Ricker. But first Bravura. Let me go to Ravelry and pull up Bravura for you, because it's just a genius. I should pull up the other ones too. Sorry about this. Bravura. B-R-A. Bravura. Here it is. Oh my gosh. Tracy, I loved you from the get-go. You see how it looks like a cape in the back? Now, she did all of her pictures black and white. I don't know if I would have done that. What's another good shot? Here's another good shot. So here, and it's her daughter modeling these. Isn't she beautiful? Because it's black and white, and because of the iPad glare, it's not coming out right, but oh, here's a good one. Go check it out. I'm going to make one for myself and my daughter. I love this picture, too. Her daughter looks so beautiful there. So bravo, Tracy. This is, if I were to vote on any design from every challenge, this would be number one, hands down for me. Because I would wear it, because I would make it, because it's ingeniously creative, it's tasteful, it's practical, it felt beautiful. You can't feel it because you're seeing this virtually. Everything about it, for me, was perfect. So, Tracy, I hope you win the final challenge, because if you do, you deserve it, just for this. The other one was, like I said, by Lauren Ricker. Now, Lauren had patterns that I really wasn't very attuned to. She's a very girly girl pattern. I don't want to say cutesy, although maybe that might be a word someone would use to describe, but her patterns are extremely girly. And it's just her personality, but she's an amazing designer. And when I first saw her, I said, she's not going to put out anything that I would ever want to make or wear. She's for a younger clique. She's got her niche, but not for me. Until she came out with the cutest little owl outfit for kids. It's called Owl in One. And let me pull that one up for you. I thought about actually having another baby just so I can make it. Not really, but you get the drift. It is just, if you ask me, this is like the most beautiful gift you could make for a baby present. And this picture is actually the perfect picture of it. It is a onesie. It has a hood, has a little feathers on its bum. And this is a great picture because you can see the front. If you could see the front and the belly, it has like little like feathery belly. And she even designed a little doll pattern to go with it. And the pattern, I'm not sure if the pattern for this is out, but honestly, I have children that are old enough to have children. So maybe when I'm going to be a grandmother, I'll be making one of these. So Lauren, thank you. And I'm looking forward to making this. And then the other thing you put out, which is not on your store, so I don't know if I can show you a picture. Maybe I have to go to the Fiber Factor. Hold on. The Fiber Factor. And I tried it on and I have a picture of this one, but I'll probably make this first because it will be a great gift. It is the final, from the final challenge. She made this piece. The final challenge. Challenge results. And hopefully there's a picture of it. No picture. All right. Let me go to your forum page then. Because this is one that it's Lauren, you're amazing. Accessorize. Where do you see this? Okay, so this is from the forum section. Here's her inspiration shot. Isn't that gorgeous? She made these mood boards or something when she did her designs. Oh, this is perfect. Okay, now we're talking. Look. Okay, so now you're seeing it here and you're like, what? Is that a scarf? What is that? I don't know. I don't know if I like it. You can't see the texture in this picture. It's all cabled with this beautiful, and the wool is gorgeous. You should use the same wool, the same color. These clasps are gorgeous. Oh, it's the only picture I can show you. But go watch the video for the final challenge, and you'll see it in all the ways she imagined you could wear it. Because you can wear it with it not around your face, but kind of hanging more like a cowl. And then it has a hooded piece that comes up. And even if you put the hood down, it falls perfectly on your shoulders. It's an amazing design, and I'm going to put a picture of me wearing it here. And anyway, I wanted to do that. I wanted to talk about the Fiber Factor most of all. And I hope that all these vendors that come out, and so that we can see all of these great yarns, I hope you make a fortune this weekend, because I appreciate all the work you go through to make these things happen for us, from the people that put it together to all the vendors that go through tons of work to make us happy. Thank you. One more shout out, Fiber Factor related, and then I'll let you go because this is getting way too long, is Steve May from Fiber Factor has only been knitting a year. And while his designs were not as progressive, I don't know if that's the word, but he didn't have a lot of knitting background to pull from, yet he took simple techniques, which were where he's at knitting wise, and he got creative with the construction. So I just want to say, Steve, I hope you keep designing, because I can't wait to see what you come up with after you've been knitting more and more. So don't stop. And now I'm going to stop because I've been talking way too long. Thank you. If you've listened to the whole thing, thank you for sticking with me. And hopefully next week I'll have another one for you. I don't know. I have a baby shower, so I do have to go away. So I might not be able to film next week, but we'll see. I'll try. And that's a wrap, Jack.